Welcome to CDK Connect. We hope you enjoyed the keynote presentations and welcome to our breakout sessions. This breakout session is Unleashing the Power of CDK Data and AI in Your Inventory Management. My name is Dan Doolin. I'm a product marketer here at CDK, and I'm thrilled to be walking through this presentation with you. As we get started, if you have questions that come up during the presentation, feel free to put those questions in, and we'll answer those at the end. Let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about some dealer insights into vehicle inventory. This is based on the research that we've done, and we're going to share that information with you today. We're going to talk about total inventory control. We're going to talk about smarter appraisals and pricing. We're going to talk through how to speed up your merchandising with AI-driven tools. And we're going to talk about how we'll stay engaged with you in your long-term success as it relates to vehicle inventory. Let's go ahead and talk about what we've learned in some research that we did from dealers as it relates to vehicle inventory. Now, many of these things might be obvious to you, but it's important for us to gather this information from a large number of dealers and aggregate the information to help us better serve you. What we learned from our research is that dealers want to understand what vehicles perform best on their lots for them and for dealers similar to them. Dealers want to get the right vehicles bought at the right price to achieve your financial objectives. Seems pretty straightforward. Understand and be able to react quickly to market and pricing volatility. And also, dealers want to elevate speed, accuracy, and the effectiveness and consistency of their online presence. Those are very important things to do within your dealerships. And I'm sure you're trying to do them today, and I'm sure you're doing a really good job with those. But those still popped up as key needs in the research that we performed. Now I'm going to spend some time talking about how CDK delivers with its Vehicle Inventory Suite. We launched the Vehicle Inventory Suite early this year as the latest suite in our dealership experience platform. The Vehicle Inventory Suite provides you with total inventory control, smarter appraisals and pricing, and AI-driven merchandising. The total inventory control concept means that you have everything that you need to manage your inventory in one suite. You don't have to buy multiple products. You don't have to try to integrate them all together. Everything is already ready for you to start managing your inventory better. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about smarter appraisals and pricing, as well as the AI-driven merchandising. When we start talking about the appraisal and pricing process, a good place to start is having some good indications about whether or not this vehicle will perform well on your lot or not. With the inventory recommendations feature within the Vehicle Inventory Suite, this is all based on the DNA of your dealership. For example, how long does it take you to sell these vehicles typically? What's the average gross profit that your dealership experiences for this vehicle? And also, how many of these vehicles have you sold in the last 90 days, for example? This data-driven analysis summarizes sales performance of each of the vehicles and also provides you with information about how you compare with other dealers that are like you. And by that we mean dealers of similar size, similar sales volume, similar OEM affiliation, etc. Not necessarily geographic, but just dealers that are similar to you in their structure. This is great information to have as you're looking at vehicles and really putting some data to your decision-making process. As you continue and determine that, while this is a vehicle that I should be selling on the lot, now it's a matter of making sure that you purchase it at the right price. We're providing you with more market data than you've ever had. Instant and complete vehicle information based on the VIN. It's important to understand the pricing of the vehicles and the value of vehicles when you're purchasing them, whether that is on a trade-in, at an auction, or a third-party purchase. The best starting point for that is understanding the details of that vehicle, both the vehicle that you're appraising as well as other vehicles that you're comparing it to. Sort of like apples and apples. You want to make sure that you understand the vehicle that you're looking at and that you understand what you're comparing it to. So therefore, we also VIN decode competitor vehicles. In the first screenshot there, you see competitive vehicles in your area, And you also see the deal tags that we're pulling in from AutoTrader and Cars.com, giving you full insight into what's available out there in your local market and what those vehicles are selling for. In addition, the book value data is also completed right there on the same screen. Let's talk about going beyond market intelligence. Now this is really exciting. This is where we really see that CDK data and artificial intelligence working together to give you some great new insights as you're looking at appraising a vehicle. Obviously, when you're appraising a vehicle, you want to understand what your options are going to be for selling that vehicle as soon as possible. You'll notice there's 3 lines on this chart. The black line is the list price, market data. The blue line is wholesale pricing. The green line is probably something you've never seen before. It's actual sales price data, and that's made available from CDK. In addition, we're showing you past, present, and future pricing for this vehicle. From this information, you can determine a sales strategy. You know what's coming for that vehicle as it relates to the wholesale pricing. And it enables you to make great decisions about where you need to purchase that vehicle and ultimately where you'll price that vehicle to sell. In addition, as you're appraising a vehicle, it's important to insulate yourself from any surprises that might come up with that vehicle. Obviously, you're going to be able to look at the overall condition of the vehicle, but we're also utilizing CDK's repair order data to give you an understanding of some potential repairs that might be coming for that vehicle. Those potential repairs could turn into costly reconditioning costs for you. So as you scan this vehicle into the vehicle inventory suite, it's going to give you information based on year, make, model, and mileage about some potential upcoming repairs. As you can see on this vehicle, it's got a high potential of having engine and drivetrain issues coming up very soon. Now you can use that information however you see fit. You could use it to factor into your reconditioning costs. It could cause you to look further at the vehicle, maybe check the Carfax or the auto check history on the vehicle to see if any of these repairs have been made. You might take it into the shop for a closer look, or you might use it to negotiate the appraisal price or the trade-in price. Again, giving you this information that's made available from CDK as a unique advantage as you appraise this vehicle. Now, as we start to look at pricing, once you've acquired the vehicle, you can stay up to date with the ongoing competitive pricing analysis. So these tools are the same tools that you have available as you're appraising the vehicle. Just staying updated as you work through the vehicle in your inventory and keep the pricing up to date. As the market changes, so does this information. Always up to date, always giving you the latest information to help you make sure that the vehicle is priced correctly in your area. In addition, you've also got the ability to create pricing strategies. So you can keep the pricing fresh and competitive, layer multiple pricing rules to create a comprehensive strategy, and make sure that your strategy is making sense across your inventory by not applying multiple strategies to the same vehicle. As you're pricing new vehicles, the new vehicle market insights help you understand what the competitive landscape looks like on those new vehicles. A competitive dealer breakdown of the new car inventory and the pricing history helps you understand how your local competitors are pricing their vehicles and when they're making changes. You can easily view and manage pricing rules and the incentives that are available for that specific vehicle, as those incentives are automatically updated within the vehicle inventory suite. Now let's talk about how AI-driven merchandising drives your speed to market with every vehicle. Let's start with AI-generated descriptions. AI-generated descriptions are handled within the vehicle inventory suite. You don't have to go outside of the system to create a description and copy and paste it back in. It's all done within the vehicle inventory suite. You can choose your preferred description style, like really boring or over-the-top exciting, and create the description that best fits that vehicle. And again, remember when we talked about that deep vehicle data and the VIN decoding to make sure that we've got all the right information for that vehicle? That's really important again as we're generating that description to enhance our online presence for that specific vehicle. Now this is something that's really fun. The AI-assisted merchandising also helps make sure that your online presence is very consistent and exciting and looks professional. The guided shot list drives those consistent professional listings by making sure that you've got the right photos for every vehicle. For example, a very low-priced vehicle, you might have 5 or 10 pictures for it. You might have that set up as a specified shot list. For a new vehicle, you might have 30 or 35 pictures for that vehicle. But all of your new vehicles will have the same 30 to 35 pictures, bringing that consistency that you need to look professional online. The AI Photo Studio and management tools can help you remove backgrounds, add layers, and elevate your online presence. Now, this is really fun. Currently, you might be waiting for a photographer to show up on your lot to take pictures of your vehicles, and that can sometimes take days. And you can do that now on your own very quickly. Anyone in the dealership can take those quality photos. What you're seeing on your screen is a Vehicle Inventory Suite mobile app. Within the mobile app, this person is taking pictures of a specific vehicle following the shot list. So the little car on the screen is the angle at which the photo should be taken. And the frame of the application stays red until they get the right angle. Then it turns green. And then they take the picture. And then it moves to the next angle in the shot list. So anybody within your dealership can go out and take great photos of your vehicles. All you have to do is say, hey, go take pictures of these 5 vehicles. They'll find the vehicles in the mobile app. It'll have the shot list assigned to the vehicle, and they can go take the pictures very quickly. Very easy to use and gives you that great professional and consistent online presence. And most importantly, you can have those vehicles listed very quickly, saving you that holding cost. Those are some of the great examples of how the Vehicle Inventory Suite gives you that competitive advantage and an additional profitability per vehicle. Let's take a look at how CDK can also help you with your long-term success as it relates to the Vehicle Inventory Suite. Your CDK customer success team is always here to help. Your customer success manager is your relationship specialist who understands your business. And our customer success specialists are industry and product experts that are available to assist you. Our entire customer success team will be here to help you utilize all of your CDK products in a way that best serves your dealership. I want to tell you about a great, exciting event that we have coming up in May of next year, CDK Connect Live Edition. It'll be in Nashville at the Embassy Suites. It's May 19th through the 21st of 2026. It's one event with 3 great tracks. Truck Connect for our heavy truck dealers, Accounting Connect for anyone related to accounting and dealership operations, and we'll certainly be talking about vehicle inventory as well. We'll also have IT Connect for all of the IT staff within your dealership. We'll have great general and breakout sessions, a wonderful keynote speaker, networking opportunities, and of course, an exhibit hall and a fantastic party. But what's really important is if you register by the end of this month, October 31st, you can save $600 off the registration. That's almost half price. I hope that you'll register, and we hope to see you there. It's going to be a fantastic event. At this time, we'll be happy to answer your questions, and I'm going to turn that over to Merritt Critcher and Bruce Johnson from our team.
Well, thank you, Dan. That was definitely interesting and exciting, and we're really excited to be bringing the Vehicle Inventory Suite to all of you. We're starting to get a few questions in. If you have questions, feel free to submit them in the Q&A. We will answer them as we can get to them. If we have some questions that we're not able to get to, we will do our best to follow up with you after the session. So I'm Bruce Johnson, Product Marketing and Enablement at CDK. Joining me is Merritt Critcher, who's Director of Product Management, leading our efforts on this exciting Vehicle Inventory Suite that we're bringing to market. Couple questions we'll start off with. First one, Merritt, is an easy one and a fun one.
Okay.
And that question is, I'll let you answer it. Can the Vehicle Inventory Suite be used by a store that is not using a CDK DMS product?
Of course, we're completely agnostic. So Anybody can bring any DMS data into our system and enjoy the benefits of Vehicle Inventory Suite. As long as we get that information, and we can also get that F&I data in there, so we can crunch some numbers about your dealership, so we can start to do things like that DNA matching that Dan was talking about earlier. We can do it.
Okay, great. And I will add to that, there are some benefits with, some nice streamlined workflows if you are using the complete CDK platform, but
that is
certainly can use it either way.
That's totally true. If you do have the CDK DMS, we actually enjoy a very nice tight coupling with the DMS and are able to write back many more fields than any other DMS out there would allow.
Great. All right. Next question, Merritt. I just wanted to clarify, can the Vehicle Inventory Suite be used for used cars only?
It's for both new and used. Obviously when we started out, it was starting out as a merchandising and syndication tool, and it was for both new and used vehicles. Then we started adding on to it and building out analytics to help price your used cars. But over the summer, we have got a full-fledged new car pricing tool built into it as well. So it's a used car machine as well as a new car pricing machine with full capabilities of incentives data, price rules, market data for new cars. I know that Dan showed a lot around the used car section, but we have a whole section for new vehicles as well.
Yeah, and some very exciting capabilities to manage the OEM incentives and promotions and all of that as well. So very powerful tool across both sides. Absolutely. In the appraisal process, we spoke about noting potential repairs with a vehicle. Can you explain a little bit more how that information is determined about potential repairs on a vehicle?
You bet. We understand. I've been to many dealerships. Not every dealership has a scanner. They may not have it around them, so they can't get that individual information on the car. What we did with potential repairs is we started digging into the vast CDK data ecosystem. And when we touch here at CDK over 50% of the vehicles passing through these service lanes, we are capturing millions and millions of repair orders. And so when these repair orders are going into the database, we are leveraging AI and ML technology to go and scan that. So when you're appraising a vehicle or looking at owned inventory also, but think about this, when you're appraising a vehicle, we have now scanned the data and we are giving you some potential issues on that vehicle and breaking it out into 4 major sections so you can easily ascertain, hey, is this something serious that we probably need to take a better look at or not? And, it's really to ignite that conversation when you're trying to buy that car. If you're purchasing it off of a trade-in, you have a little bit more meaningful conversation with the customer about the car, or start taking a little bit better look at what's been going on in that car. Look up those service records, check out the Carfax or auto check a little bit deeper, or, take it to the service lane and see, hey, this car with this around these miles that we're looking at might have transmission issues or something. So take a little bit of a deeper look at it. That way you're not caught just automatically wholesaling the car when you thought that you could retail it.
Great. One more question here came in. Dan talked about speeding up merchandising of vehicles and showed a couple things there. Can you elaborate a bit on how you take time out of the merchandising process and get cars to market faster?
You bet. We do a lot of things. We are a merchandising machine here. So once the cars are in inventory, the used car or new car manager can quickly ascertain which vehicles need to be touched. What's my to-do list today? Which vehicles have a need for photos, or which ones may have a low photo count? So there are some dealerships that'll quickly throw cars online with some quick photos, and they may just have like 3 or 4, but we will highlight, hey, you need to go take more photos with those. We also, with the merchandising, keep our used car and new car managers in lockstep with what's happening in the market, so they know which way to, if something is now overpriced or underpriced, We highlight that for them. But when we talk about speed to market and getting these cars online faster, it's all about shaving those days off, those days off on the marketing, because that's actual money in the bank for you. So the faster you can get these cars online and marketed, means more money in your pocket, because people are going to start looking at these things, and then you're going to start selling these cars faster. So what do? Automatic with, let's just start with the AI descriptions real quick. Other tools out there have a quick cookie cutter like Mad Lib style. We're passing this off through AI, through LLMs, and they're coming back with unique SEO friendly descriptions using all the information from the VIN in the tone that you want to set for your dealership. So those things can happen automatically. The other part is, photos. That's the big roadblock to getting these cars properly merchandised on there. And so as Dan was showing with our AI photo capture, well, let's take it a step back. Every dealer can have their own customized shot list, meaning, hey, these are the orders of the photos that I want to have on my website. And when you build out those shot lists for each dealer or dealer group, then whoever, which means anybody, can be the photographer at the dealership. They understand, hey, my number one photo is at this angle, my number two, and after I take that photo, it's at this angle, it's at that angle, and it walks around the vehicle. We have ingested AI modeling into the mobile app for both Android and iPhone, which means as they're taking those photos and following that shot list for the consistency on the websites that the dealers are looking for, we are helping them line up those photos. And we use millions and millions of professional photos from the lot service providers out there to power our AI modeling engine. So if you have a photographer that comes out once or twice a week, they've got a nice backlog of cars, which means those cars are probably sitting on your lot, which should be merchandised almost immediately. And when I say anybody can be the photographer, they can grab the mobile app, walk around, take those photos, and then our system, depending on the dealer settings, we can automatically do the background removal, place the vehicle in the location that you want it. So if it's a rainy day when they're taking photos, or it's muddy outside or snow on the ground or whatever it is, those photos can be can be on a beautiful day in front of the dealership. So we can make those background removals, place it in this with the setting that you want, put the banners all over it, just like any other tool, but it's all automated. So when I say anybody can be a photographer, you're talking about everybody being able to go and take these photos of the cars. And when you go to your own dealership website, you will have the consistency. So somebody types in SUVs, all those SUVs are going to line up just the way that they should.
Great. That's awesome information, Merritt.
Yeah.
Just looking here, if any other questions, feel free to submit. One other question here, Barrett, come in, and that is, around the pricing information, how are you establishing the price point for a vehicle when you're appraising it or when you're setting the price? Can you talk a little bit about that?
You bet. So we have a few different ways to show data. So as you're appraising a car, you kind of want to understand what your benchmarks are. What are the other dealers around me in my market that have this exact same car? What are they selling it for? And then, what is the makeup of those cars that they are selling? So one, we take a really good look at the listings data. And here's what we're doing a little bit different than everybody else. When we talk about listings data, that's what everybody else has advertised across all the websites across the country. Well, everybody gets that data. But what we're doing is we're taking those cars, in which I'll tell you, it's there's probably, let's say in the used car market, there's roughly about 1.5 million cars for sale each and every day out there. Every day, there's an injection of another 115,000-ish cars into the used car market. What we are doing different than everybody else is we're taking all of that listings data and we're VIN-decoding it against the most advanced VIN decoding out there that gets the most build data back which means all the data that what was actually built on the vehicle, from the options, the year, make, model, trim, and all the way down, engine options and whatnot. So when you are appraising a vehicle and you scan the VIN in our system, so you're appraising a car, you scan the VIN, we get that full build data back most of the time. And then when you start to look at the comparables, the listings data, we have then VIN decoded all of that. So it's not junk and messy data anymore. It's very clean. And we like to say sometimes apples to apples comparison. This is allowing you guys to get into Fiji apples versus Fiji apples and really get a true comparison of what's happening in the listings market. So, hey, when you're appraising a car, the number one thing you need to do is understand, hey, how many of these are in my market and what is everybody else selling these things for? And accuracy in that data is paramount. Secondly, is obviously you can look at the book data. What's the wholesale market doing on this? What's JD Power saying? What's MMR? And whatever books that you subscribe to for that data, we can pipe that in as well. And then once you understand what the wholesale and what the trade-in values of these vehicles are, and you understand what the listings values are, we like to give that icing on the cake and use data science and AI ML and looking at all of this stuff, and to present to you what we call value vision. Value vision is giving you a historical look back over the last 6 months of what's been happening on the vehicle that you're appraising. Meaning, hey, over the last 6 months, the wholesale market was here and it was, going up and down over the last 6 months. We do the same thing for the advertised price. How's the advertised price been on this car? Has it been a slow depreciation, or has it been volatile and bouncing up and down? And then we also looking at the CDK data and looking at the vast CDK data, we're able to get the actual sales transactions and show you a median of the sales transactions over the last 6 months and the volatility of that. But then we start to power it with AI and ML technology. And then we're able to give a forecast of where it should, with a high probability of where it's going to be over the next 30, 60, 90 days. So not only do you get a historical look on this vehicle and how it's been performing on the advertised price, sales transaction, and MMR, but then we're also showing where this is forecasted to be over the next 30, 60, 90 days. So your exit strategy might change on this vehicle by looking at this forecasted data and understanding what's happening on it. Or you may want to retail. It's just extra icing on the cake to fill in those gaps, to understand, hey, what's my probable carry cost on this vehicle 60 days out from now? So that's what we do with the appraisal workflow and giving extra data, but then also the potential repairs, understanding what are some possible issues on this vehicle. And then also Dan highlighted the buy recommendations, where we have matched your dealership up and figured out that DNA structure of the vehicles that you sell, and then obviously find other ones that are similar to your DNA matchup in the market. So we can then get down to recommendations down to the trim level, whereas other people, when they're really recommending vehicles for you to buy or look at, it's not recent sales. They may go back multiple years, or they may tell you that you do well with Ford F-150s, where you're kind of left thinking, okay, that's great. I may sell some Ford F-150s, but Ford F-150s can be $15,000 all the way to $125,000. Which ones do I perform well with? This helps paint in the better picture for our dealers by getting down to the year, make, model, trim, and helping them understand which ones would perform well with them, and then also show which ones are performing in your market. So,
well, thank you for the excellent explanation of that, Merritt. Data is certainly powerful when it comes to making pricing and appraisal decisions, and nobody has more data that's accessible and being able to put to work than CDK. And really, really exciting the way we're using AI technology to give forward and backward looking views, and helping dealers anticipate, especially in volatile markets. It's just a really exciting to be able to put this kind of information in the hands of inventory managers, used car managers, as they're making decisions on vehicles. You combine that with speeding up the process, and it's all focused on what we at CDK are really focused on, which is trying to help our dealers sell and service more cars and do it more efficiently and probably most importantly, more profitably. So
Exactly.
thanks for the great explanations there, Merritt. I'm not seeing any other questions. So with that, we will thank you for attending. Really appreciate your attention here at CDK Connect. And Dan mentioned at the closeout of his comments that we have CDK Connect Live coming up in Nashville. You have, we have some early bird registration out there, so really encourage you. We'd love to see you all in person coming up in May in Nashville. So really encourage you to check that out. And if you'd like to learn more or have questions about the vehicle inventory suite, feel free to reach out to Dan, Merritt, or myself. Our emails are all pretty straightforward. It's firstname.lastname@cdk.com. So Bruce Johnson, Dan Doolin, Merritt Kircher. Thank you so much for attending, and thank you, Merritt.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
And thank you, Dan.